be. Are you a slave to your credit? In this video, I'm showing you things to do that could help you raise your credit score and have good credit and save money as well. And I'm also showing you things not to do that could be preventing you from getting a higher credit score. And the things that I'm showing you not to do, it could be causing you to spend more money. Let's get into the video. Okay, real quick. So I created this channel because I've had a lot of challenges and difficulties to overcome. So I make sure to give a lot of information to address a lot of different types of issues regarding health, wellness, natural hair care, and a bonus, I'm doing credit repair and credit building tips too. Well, that's because I had to deal with a lot of those issues myself. So I've gained a lot of experience and I've had a lot of successes too. So because I've been able to overcome these different challenges in these different areas, well, really, that's what my videos are all about. I'm sharing my secrets. So I'm spilling the tea over here, but only positivity on my channel. Let's go. This week, I'm still talking about credit. So being a slave to credit. Do this and not that. I'm going to begin with the things not to do. And that's because I want to show you how I was making a lot of mistakes that cost me a lot of money. So being uneducated when it comes to proper credit use caused me to almost be a slave to my credit. Don't do that. What I mean is this. Before my credit went down to having bad credit, my credit was good. Then it dropped to fairly decent. But I was using my credit incorrectly. So don't do that. Using my credit incorrectly was costing me a lot of money and missed opportunities too. So I was feeling almost stuck in this same old cycle of not being able to get ahead. So it was kind of like being a slave to my credit. Don't do that. Well, using my credit incorrectly, I just could not get ahead that way. For example, I was spending a lot of money paying interest rates and high fees for things, and it just seemed like I never was able to have enough money because as soon as I would pay my credit debt down, there goes my interest rates slamming me. The interest rates were so high, it's like I was just spending a lot of money on paying off the debt that I used and the interest rates too. So it just kept me in that same slave-like cycle. So I never really was able to pay off my debt each month. I always had a balance. It took me much too long to pay off my credit debt. Don't do that. Which that contributed to me living paycheck to paycheck. It was so hard for me to pay things off. And since I was always using 100% of my credit, I never seemed to have enough money and I never seemed to have enough credit to handle things. It was a never-ending cycle. So it seemed. Eventually, I stayed in that cycle for a very long time, and my credit got worse and worse. But I wanted out of that cycle. I wanted my credit to change and get good again. I wanted to stop spending so much money in fees all the time and high interest rates. And also, I wanted to stop being denied for new credit. So after prayer and meditation, I began to educate myself. And then I began to ask the right questions when it came to repairing my credit and making it better. This is one of the questions that I asked myself. Number one, what does the credit bureaus and the creditors look for when it comes to extending credit? And number two, I was asking myself, how do they want us, the consumer, to use our credit that will cause them to raise my score? And then I asked another question, number three. Can I do what they want and still save money simultaneously? So those are the right questions that I began to ask myself. And as I began to rebuild my credit, and let me mention this because just in case you guys don't know me, I had 7 collections. Woo, I had everything from medical bills to credit cards and utilities and other type of collections. Okay? All right. So I began to ask myself the right questions after I educated myself. And I was just wondering, can I do what they want and still save money simultaneously? So I began to focus on doing those things instead of being a slave to my credit. Hey, my credit got good now. And I'm no longer a slave to my credit. So I do this instead. So remember, the name of this video is Don't Do That, but do this instead. Now we on the part where I'm telling you what I do instead. Number one, I no longer use 100% of my credit to pay my bills or to buy things. Don't do that. Instead, I do this. I use a certain percentage of my credit and make sure to have more credit available to me. That way, when I do use my credit, I'm not using 100% of it. I only use 30% or less. This is seen as keeping my spending in check, and it's showing the creditors and the credit bureaus that I have great credit management. And let me tell you, this helped raise my score over 100 points fast. Okay? Now, step number 2. I no longer pay interest rates. Don't do that. So not only am I not paying high interest rates any longer, but I rarely pay any interest rates at all. So I'm saving so much money instead of a lot of spending. I'm saving a lot of money just in interest rates alone. In these examples, I'm showing you each month my new spending habit. Pause. Go ahead and like this video, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button. This work could not be done without you. And thanks for your support, okay? Let's continue. In this example, take a look at all these small transactions. You would think that I must be paying a lot in interest since I use my card so much, huh? Look at all these transactions. So I'll bet you're thinking I pay a lot of interest, right? Because I'm using my credit card a lot. No. I'm not doing that anymore. I do this instead. Look at here. I'm paying 0 in interest rate. Remember when I said I no longer pay interest? Well, very rarely. I may pay interest maybe 1% at a time, but when I do pay interest, I choose if I'm going to have an interest payment or not. Okay? But we'll talk more about that rare time that I may pay interest by choice in a separate video. Right now, I want to stick to the point of this video. 99% of the time, I do not pay interest. Take a look at these examples here. Look at this month. See all these transactions? I didn't pay any interest. Let's go to another month. I made transactions on this month. This is the monthly payment I made. Here it is right here. I paid 0 interest. Let's go to another month. Use my credit card a whole lot. Made a monthly payment. Didn't pay no interest here either. Let's go to another month. Same thing. Using my card a lot. Making payments. Didn't pay no interest. Let's look at this other month right here. Same thing. Use my card a whole lot. I'm making payments on this card. And right here you see I'm not paying no interest. Let's look at another month. Same thing. Using my card, making payments, and I am not paying any interest. Look right here. I'm paying 0 in interest rates. Want to see another example? I'm using my card. I'm making monthly payments. Right here. Again, I'm paying 0 in interest. So I no longer am a slave to my credit. I have learned how to manage my credit wisely. So I don't do that anymore. I ain't no slave to my credit. I do this instead. Learned how to use my credit wisely by keeping my usage under 30%. And I pay 0 in interest rates, which is saving me money. Okay? So let's recap. Due to bad credit use habits and not having the proper credit education, I became a slave to my credit. So I stopped doing those incorrect things and I began to do these things instead. Using my credit better, and I began to save money by stop paying interest rate fees. I know this was a lot of information to digest, right? So feel free to watch this video over again and share it with others who may be struggling with how they use their credit. Or if they're paying like high interest rates each month, share this video with somebody who you think can benefit from this information that I'm sharing. Question: are you being a slave to your credit? If so, then what can you do to stop? Leave a comment below and let me know. Now, I want you to make a note of this. When I had bad credit, I began to rebuild my credit while I still had collections. I want you to make a note of that. While I still had collections, I needed to offset the bad credit that I had. I had 7 collections. So what I did, while I still had collections, I went out and got some good new credit. And I began to nurture that new good credit that I just got in order to help offset the bad credit that I had. That is very important, okay? Listen, I know what I'm talking about. I had bad credit, but my credit good now. And I repaired it myself. I had 7 collections, and now I don't. Hey, I'm having a lot of success. I use my credit all the time now. I don't even pay any interest either. Yeah, I don't pay any interest. And my credit score is continuing to rise too. Hey, I'm saving money too. And even make a little money by turning my credit into cash. So that's a bonus. I have over 2 years experience and I'm strategic with how I use my credit. And I do the same things each month too. I have over $9,000 in my personal credit, unsecured. And I did so good with repairing my credit. I have over $10,000 in business credit too. So I know what I'm talking about. Hey, I'm spilling the tea over here. I'm sharing my credit secrets. I got a lot to share about credit now. So be sure to smash that subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment below with any questions. Also, share my videos. You never know who might be trying to repair their credit. I raised my score over 100 points, and it's raised over 200 points now. You want to see what I did to raise my score over 100 points? Click that video right here. That link right here. Click this video.